Hello, and thank you for watching this weather update, brought to you by Agrible, makers of Morning Farm Report. My name is Eric Snodgrass, and I am a senior atmospheric scientist and co-founder of Agrible. With harvest well underway, let's take a look at last week's precipitation totals. Thankfully, the Carolinas and Virginia got a full week off from rainfall after the incredible rainfall amounts from Hurricane Matthew. Now that a week has passed, a lot of the damage assessment is starting to come in. These before and after pictures show the rest of us just how bad the flooding is in North Carolina. Well, as expected, soil moisture content is off the charts in the coastal Carolinas, and as harvest efforts resume, farmers must be sure to scout their fields before taking heavy equipment in, so as to prevent getting stuck or digging some deep ruts. What is amazing is that fields in nearby Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi are really dry. Harvest in these areas, plus those near the lower Mississippi River Valley, have been tough on equipment, and frequent blade changes are necessary as harvest progresses. Well, the USDA Drought Monitor tells the story very well, and we can see how exceptional drought, which is the highest category of drought used, has spread through northern Georgia and Alabama, as we have been reporting now for a couple of months. However, most regions throughout the South are actually having a pretty good year. Well, here are the latest numbers from the USDA on peanuts this year. Production is up compared to last year, and harvest is ahead of pace compared to last year, despite the slowdown in the Carolinas and the parts of Georgia that were impacted by Hurricane Matthew. Fields in Texas are actually doing very well as favorable weather conditions, including plenty of rainfall, have really been improving yields. But before we talk about the upcoming weather, farmers on the West Coast dealt with an incredible windstorm last week as the remnants of a once very powerful super typhoon named Songda became absorbed into the mid-latitude flow before hitting the Pacific Northwest. The winds were incredible as they fed over 16 trillion gallons of water into the mountains of Oregon, Washington, and Northern California. The rainfall totals were actually off my scale along the West Coast, and some regions received as much as 15% of their total wet season rainfall in this single event. Now, why I bring this up is because the rainfall totals will go a long way to fill reservoirs, especially in the northern half of the state. And this is crucial for ag production in California, as they have been in the grips of drought now for over 3 years. We can see how water levels in many reservoirs are actually near their long-term historical averages, a place they have not been routinely for quite some time. So what are we watching for this week? Well, let's start with rainfall. I'm very glad to report that the tropical thunderstorms that have formed north of the Bahamas are not in the forecast to hit the United States. As we can see in this animation of precipitation type, intensity, and surface air pressure, a large low-pressure system pushes to the northeast. The upper-level flow that is controlling the development and the track of this low-pressure system is also going to keep those tropical thunderstorms away from the southeastern part of the United States. However, as the cold front comes through, precipitation will spread across fields in the southeast on Friday. But after this, notice how high pressure dominates for several days. With higher air pressure comes drier weather. While the coastal fields need this drier weather, regions of drought in Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi need rain. I don't see any signs of significant relief from that drought, though, for the rest of October. Now, looking at temperatures, the cold front that passes on Friday will really keep things cooler than average for the weekend and the start of next week. This map shows temperature anomalies, which are differences from normal, for Saturday, and the cooler air might be a welcome sight for some after the past few days have been well above average in terms of temperatures. But don't get too used to the cooler weather, as the longer-term forecasts suggest that it won't stay around for too long next week. Well, thank you for watching this weather update, and as always, we at Agrible aim to provide the most timely and useful weather forecast information so as to help you plan your operations. Thank you.